Hello YouTube, ReadyReptiles here with another video, and in today's video I'm just going to talk tortoises, give you guys an update of what's going on in the backyard, some movement changes, and just show you guys how these animals have been doing, as well as some updates on maybe like the flowers that we planted and things like that that might be coming to the habitat. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed today's video and let's get started. All right, so my update's going to start over here with the 3 Aldabra tortoises. The reason being is because these guys are going to go right back inside that elevated shelter. They absolutely love it since I built it. They use it every single day, and that also limits their kind of interaction and movements throughout the habitat. But they're mostly active during the dawn and dusk periods because they are crepuscular animals, as you guys know, and they're just going to be more active during those times. Right now, Aristotle, which is my largest Aldabra tortoise, is munching on some leftover Opuntia cactus. You guys know I like to sprinkle this in every so often with some of the feedings. I interchange it with their greens. Obviously, they have the staple haze. And then I'll do some Missouri tortoise diet every once in a while just to add some extra nutrients to kind of round out their diet. Their faces are completely wet right now because they were eating some leftover papaya. My dad has 2 trees growing. One of them is fruiting consistently, but when we don't eat it or one kind of goes a little bit past too spoiled for human consumption, we go ahead and throw it for the tortoises. So there's Play-Doh and Chili's. They're also dirty from some Missouri that they had earlier this week. Look at those faces. Everybody is doing great though. I'm very happy with their progress inside the shelter. It actually has worked very functionally very well. When it rains, it doesn't get wet in there. Just a little bit from the top because it's not completely sealed, but like, I mean, the water doesn't rise high enough for them to obviously be wallowing in the water. But at their size, they are completely okay. They actually have not used the other opening that I basically expanded their habitat for, and it is what it is, man. When they eventually figure it out, they'll go over there. But right now, I'll show you who is using that consistently and, you know, who actually doesn't make their way over too much. So yeah, so these guys are doing great. As you can see, absolutely massive. The younger ones, which are Play-Doh and Chili's, they are kind of catching up in size with Aristotle here. The camera will not do them justice. They are actually way larger than what they look. And we are in the summer periods here. Of course, we're located in South Florida, lots of heat, lots of rain, so they're going to be hiding, kind of resting majority of their day. But they do come out, they eat. They actually have the grass growing back because we're getting so much water. They nibble on that, of course. And as you can see, everybody was nice and active after that papaya feed. So I like to do the papaya feed every so often, as long as I have it available, because it also is a kind of natural dewormer, helps them kind of digest some things and obviously poop a little bit more runny, but we know that they're getting stuff through their, you know, their gut, lots of bile movement as well. So same goes with the Opuntia cactus, high in calcium. It's a great kind of source of nutrients for them, obviously homegrown here, and they're enjoying that. So tomorrow they'll get an Opuntia feed along with their hay, and obviously I'm gonna throw in some Missouri because I ran out of lettuce. But that is what's gonna happen with these Aldabra tortoises. Here we got Buster. I haven't showcased him too often, but he's doing good. His perch kind of breaks, then I reconstruct it, he breaks it, and as you can see, he's doing a little bit of a mating dance there. But everybody is doing good in the Aldabra section. We'll move on to the Radiateds. So over here, we're gonna start with the younger rads. And as you can see, one of the smaller ones is enjoying some papaya chunks that I threw down. There's only 6 left inside this habitat. You guys know I had originally 8 in here, but the 2 larger ones I actually went and introduced to Victoria, and they have been living with her for about almost 2 weeks now. And that has been a very good move because they get to, you know, explore a lot larger of an area. They also get to graze consistently on some grasses that are growing and weeds, and that is absolutely enjoyable for them. And I get to give these guys, the younger ones, a chance to grow. As you can see right here, I was feeding yesterday and there is leftover lettuce, which to me is a great sign because now I know that there's not overconsumption for these tortoises. All 6 eat, they eat enough, they satiate themselves, and then what happens is I can see some leftover remnants. And to me, this just shows that the younger ones like this are gonna have an ample opportunity to go ahead and eat. But this doesn't go to waste. I'll just throw it right there. The Aldabras will smell it and eat it up as they please. Excuse any background noise. I think my dad is cutting the grass as we make this video, but we're gonna push through. Let me go ahead and just get some of this extra stuff. It looks bad, but it is tortoise grade quality. As you can see, there is Play-Doh already enjoying that. So I'm gonna go ahead and change some waters here too, because this one's more direct sunlight. That one is green, but the water is clean just because there's algae on the bottom. And I have to trim back some of this grass so that these tortoises have a more visual area. Like I said, my eventual goal is to make a smaller pond, but I have not had the time, as you guys know. I am a full-time master student, as well as I work a full-time job along with my animals. So I have not been able to obviously even make consistent YouTube uploads like I was in the past few months. But I try my best, and I just thought I have a few more hours here today. I'm gonna go ahead and get this done. So there are some of the other radiateds that came out, and they're enjoying that papaya. Like I said, it's perfect for them. They enjoy it, and they're gonna keep munching on that. All right, so while these guys enjoy their little meal, I'm gonna go ahead and turn to their shelter. Have these removable logs just because, or these wood planks, not logs, but because sometimes it used to flood in here, still might, and I want to be able to get these guys out as fast as possible. So we got the remaining 3 hanging out in here. As you can see, I've elevated it significantly with sand here, or like a kind of not a 50-50 mix because it doesn't have dirt, but it's more like a crushed coral, which is better for me. Helps with the drainage, keeps the habitat a little bit more elevated for them, and then they can go ahead and hide in here. All 6 absolutely love it, and they use it every single day. This animal right here is 11. 11 is my oldest radiated tortoise, but as you can see, compared to the 2 larger ones, Hopper and Flare, that I went ahead and put with Victoria, she is not of equal size. I just wouldn't feel comfortable with putting her out there just because she may, get lost a lot faster or trampled with the Aldabras, because they do have that access for them. But these guys will continue to grow. The goal is to grow them nice and slow. Radiateds are notorious for growing slowly, and I've spoken in other videos as well that radiated tortoises, or maybe an animal that's a little bit more stunted in growth, they may have later development with their pineal gland. Some studies have shown, and once that kind of formulates, they'll take off in size. But I'll show you guys the other radiateds in the next clip. All right, guys, so here is Hopper, and Hopper is one of the younger radiateds out of the original 3 that I got, but as you can see, significantly larger than 11, which would have been the oldest that you guys saw in the last clip. I put Hopper and Flare together with Victoria, who is walking right here. I also am going to insert a clip of some pretty interesting behavior. Victoria was mounting Hopper, but to my understanding, Victoria is a female. Obviously, things could change, they could develop differently, but she's completely mounting this one, and I think it's more of a territorial response because I have seen females mount each other. Here's also Mando, who's also eating some papaya, just as these guys were. Mando has gotten super friendly, and you can see those beautiful blues are coming back through, doing great in this habitat that we built him. And then over here, who's hiding in this little section, is Flare. Flare is a little bit smaller than Hopper, but a lot larger than 11, so went ahead and put this guy out here to basically enjoy this entire area, and they do absolutely enjoy it. I love how they're able to hide. If I were to cover this back up how it was, you couldn't really tell it was there. They hide behind this blue beauty bush, which was the purpose to kind of put more shrubbery. You guys remember that. Here's a nice update. Doing great. It was previously trampled by the Aldabras, but you can see how much it's taken off as well as the pentas right here. The red one is absolutely massive, and this one that was eaten by this tortoise specifically is growing incredibly. So there's an update on the plants to show you guys these guys are doing great in their section. And then I have a small elephant ear that I'm raising up. You can see some nice new growth. I'm kind of thinking where to plant it, whether I put it in this habitat or somewhere out here so they can have more shade. Like I explained previously, we are in the summer months, so it is very hot, but there's lots of foliage and shrubbery opportunities for these guys to walk around. This is Victoria's kind of more territory back here, so she hangs out here. I feed her back here as well. And then, like I said, these guys are making their way around, but lots of places to hide, lots of grass and things to eat. As you can see, they use every aspect of their habitat. And Mando is here to kind of just say what's up, shedding a little bit there. And we're still working on our relationship, but he's way friendlier than he was before in the other habitat. Also include some updates on my dad's canaries. They actually did have babies, but they did not make it completely through. We still got 4 of them in here. They're absolutely loving this habitat. It's right next to the tortoises. And then as well as, here's the Apuntia, it's growing well, of course. You guys saw Buster. And then here is Aristotle, still doing its thing, eating, enjoying up. They completely gobbled the entire papaya, which is great. That was the purpose, like I said. And then here we have, I don't know if I've shown this on the channel yet, but my dad has 2 cockatiels who have been breeding. So if we do get some, baby cockatiels, baby birds, I will show the activity on the channel, and we can update you guys on that as well. And then last but not least, here is Gabs, and there is Mr. Goobs. These guys are my sulcata tortoises. They're enjoying their habitat. Like I said previously, it's very hot, so they're always in their burrows. Here is Goob's burrow, but they both kind of hide in there. And then I got Gab's burrow back here, also in the shade. As you can see, we have lots of elephant ears, giant alocasia, bamboo, areca palms, and this provides lots of shade, but they also have sunlight throughout the day whenever they please. So Goobs and Gabs are doing great. Wanted to update you guys on them as well, because they have been probably the longest members of our channel, and they're doing good, and I don't really highlight them too often. And we'll go ahead and end this video inside the reptile room. Both snakes are doing good, Sparky and Depot. Here we have Jungle, the large red-toed boa. I also have an African cichlid tank, an Mbuna tank. You guys remember I used to keep these a long time ago. I've probably highlighted a little bit on my channel. Everybody's hiding and they're not coming out because I already fed them yesterday. But we have Demasoni, we have lots of yellow labs. We actually have very large ones that are always hiding, and I don't understand why, because cichlids are usually a very active species. And then we have 2 all white ones, which I believe are like Snow Eye something, that's the scientific name. And then these horizontally striped blue ones that I want to say they're Johannes, but they're not. I just do not remember the name right now. And then my bearded dragon is doing great. This guy's going to be helping me in some research that I'm doing for my master's program here shortly, and I will try to make a video on that as well. Here's some of the cichlids actually came out. You can see the activity. There's a few babies in there, which is completely normal when it comes to African cichlids. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Subscribe, rate, comment, and likes, and see my fellow herpers. Thank you so much for watching.